Hey Diablo fans! Today I want to talk about the kind of exciting news but kind of strange news regarding the controversial balance changes in Diablo 4's Update 1.1 or Season 1 and what developers have in store for us in the future. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on all things Diablo and other games. In an emergency live stream, Diablo 4's community manager Adam Fletcher addressed the community's concerns about the recent patch that significantly nerfed player damage and survivability, basically making us super duper weak. And guess what? The developers have heard your feedback loud and clear, or so they say. They assure us that this type of patch won't be repeated in the future. Let's hope so. Now let's dive into the galaxy brains of the developers. Associate Game Director Joe P. Pedora, I said that wrong, explained the reasoning behind the controversial patch. The primary goal was to address powerful builds that were breezing through content, which admittedly can be tons of fun. Of course it is. Feeling powerful in a video game? Seems kinda good. Developers have a couple of reasons they want you to stay in the game. Number one, there was a creative reason where they spent a lot of time building these assets, these stories, these places, and if you breeze through the game and you're done, then you might not actually look at everything they made. So it's kind of a vain point. And now there's an economic reason why they want you to stay in the game, because the longer you're in the game, the more likely you are to buy the stuff in the game. So from a business perspective, they want to keep you in there. If the game is too easy and you're getting through it too fast, well, that's actually kind of bad for them. So take everything here with a grain of salt. What they say is they wanted to prevent certain stats like cooldown reduction and vulnerability from overshadowing all the other aspects of the game. However, they understood that the nerfs were quite painful for players. Yeah, no kidding. Game director Joe Shelley emphasized that the players are the core of everything they do. Definitely not money. Their main aim is to make the game more enjoyable for everyone. So while they won't completely revert the 1.1 patch, they are committed to making necessary changes to improve the player experience. We wouldn't want you to leave now, would we? Now let's get into the exciting part. The developers announced some upcoming changes that will alleviate the pain caused by the last patch. First, a hotfix is coming today, increasing enemy density in Nightmare dungeons and Helltide events to make them more engaging. In patch 1.1.1, they're buffing underused Sorcerer and Barbarian legendary aspects, adding an extra stash tab, increasing the elixir stack size, and reducing respec gold costs by about 40%. And the best part? Patch 1.1.1 will be arriving within the next 2 weeks. But wait, there's more! The developers shared some future plans that will get you hyped. Uber uniques will drop more frequently and crowd control skills will become more effective thanks to increased enemy density. World Tiers 3 and 4 will introduce new activities to keep you motivated. The UI team is excited about skill loadouts, although it might take some time to implement. They also have plans to improve item comparison filters and introduce more ways to farm specific uniques and aspects. On top of that, they will be addressing Sorcerer survivability and high-tier difficulty one-shot issues in the next stream. Necromancer minion survivability and viability are also being looked into. Now, the developers are aware of the community's dismay over this patch, and they're taking steps to avoid such surprises in the future. They promise that hotfix and patch notes will be published before they go live. They're willing to let some builds be overpowered temporarily until better alternatives are introduced. Major balance shifts will occur at predictable times, like the start of a new season. However, if an overpowered build stems from a bug, don't worry, they'll fix it quickly, just like the Barbarian build that got fixed in the 1.1 patch. Of course, not everyone is completely satisfied with these announcements. Some players are disappointed that the patch isn't being reverted, and some of the exciting changes are still a ways off, but the developers are aware of these concerns and are actively working to regain players' trust. In conclusion, Diablo 4's developers are listening to the community and trying at least to take steps to address the issues in the game. They are committed to making the game more fun and enjoyable for everyone, with a focus on player feedback and transparency in future updates. My takeaway? I might be a little bit jaded towards Activision Blizzard as a company, but I have to kind of feel like they're just skirting the edge of what they're allowed to do. They showed their hand here. They showed that they want to keep you in the game for as long as possible, keep you grinding, keep you working in the game, so that you'll buy things eventually if you haven't already. They realized that they went too far on this one, and now they're reeling it back to make sure that you're still having enough fun to stick around. I know there's good people working there who actually want to just make a good game. I'm not saying that the whole thing is soulless and heartless, but I think there is a huge economic factor here that shouldn't be missed. If you disagree with me on this, feel free to let me know in the comments. It won't hurt my feelings. And guys, that's all for today's video, and if you found this information helpful, be sure to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the upcoming changes. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Stay tuned for more Diablo 4 news and updates. Until next time, happy demon slaying.